Warning: the following broadcast features thoughts, ideas, and opinions you might find offensive. If you're easily angered, insulted, hurt, provoked, outraged, or annoyed, the following may offend you. The views expressed in this show are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of YouTube or Google. So please, don't flag this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Hey, welcome everyone. If you haven't been here before, I think a lot of you have. If you haven't been here before, welcome to Does This Offend You? This is, wait, which way? This is Vicky. My friend Vicky, who is Nightmare Maven. All links below. We do this. I was gonna say podcast. This is really not. This is not a podcast. Okay, I refuse. We do this show, this stream, every month, and alternate whose channel it's on, and we pick two movies, horror adjacent movies sometimes, that have a similar theme-ish. It's really easy to link two movies together. Find a way.
Honestly, anyway. Yeah, we find a way every single time.
Horror finds a way. And we, instead of just focusing on reviewing the films and talking about them overall, we focus on the taboo things, the themes, subject, scenes, all that kind of stuff, that you kind of gloss over when you're looking at horror, the big picture of horror. So we get to get into like the nitty gritty stuff. We often are not offended by these films. It's just a fun title. Yeah. And we just like having these kinds of conversations and breaking films down in this way. Yes, sure. Welcome. And just a warning, everything will be spoiled. Yes. We do talk about full spoilers. Everyone who complains on my channel that I don't talk about spoilers, well, have I got news for you? You are going to not like, well, maybe you will like this then. Thank you so much, DC.
Thank you,
DC Carter. Thank you so much for your
blood sacrifice.
That's the one.
Took me a second.
That's the one. That was like blood fuel. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Yes. So we love a reach. And then today we're talking about Cat Person and Fresh, which these films are very similar, but not at the same time. But, you know, it's like horror dating kind of. Yeah. Is it really dating? That's the thing. It's trickery. It's not really dating. And these two films are, I guess approached in the same sense that Fresh is very horror. Yeah. Straight up horror. Definitely. But that they kind of start as something else and they transform as they go. So big spoilers here. Big spoilers.
Yes. Yeah. And content warning.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything.
Just like a general one at the beginning of every episode, pretty much.
Yeah, I saw for we'll probably get into this, but for Cat Person, a lot of people online on different threads were saying that they watched that film and were offended that there was no content warning for what was about to happen. Because I guess for a lot of people that whole subject matter is triggering. But yes, within horror, I do think that people should be very aware of content warnings because I love things not being spoiled and I love going into something blind and being completely shocked. And I live for that, obviously. Like I love disturbing stuff, but obviously always check if you are sensitive or, you know, for anything. Always look up content warnings is a very important. Yes, I'm feeling a little bit better. You probably can hear a little bit in my voice. Thanks, DC. But I am much better today. So thank you. I've been sick all week, so thank you so much. Where do you want to start, Vicky?
I don't know. Meat for Fresh and Cat for Cat Person. I don't know. Let the chat decide.
Yeah. Let's let the chat. Oh, we have polls now, don't we?
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting.
I just forget I could do that. Hang on, let me just pull up the actual thing. Let me just pull it up, guys. I'm going to give you a poll.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, sorry. Don't listen to that. The background. If it actually loads. Okay, here we go. Let me just put up a poll.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. Appreciate everyone
Fresh.
humoring me with the emojis. Thank you, Des.
Guys.
There's
The
gonna be a
emojis are
poll.
good for this one.
That is true, yeah.
Which film came out first? Oh, Fresh, of course.
Fresh did, yeah.
They're very different. Okay. And I wonder how many people have seen all of these. Because, again, spoiler warning. Oh, everyone's gone for Fresh. No one cares about that. Oh, I mean, actually, it's not that bad. It's like 62% Fresh. Let's see if it changes. We'll give you guys another. Oh, 50. Whoa, you guys are trying to make it exactly even, are you?
Okay, hold on here. If I vote, that'll make it not even.
Joseph, I can definitely tell you it is not rom-com. Joseph said, okay, with spoilers, both trailers are set up.
No. That might be trailers are set, but that is not what
that's what I'm saying. It's totally misleading on purpose, which I love, but I get that that's not great for everybody. I watched both when they came out, but haven't rewatched. Yeah, a rewatch is interesting with Cat Person, I feel like, and Fresh. Because Fresh, it seems so fucking obvious the whole time what is about to happen.
Yeah.
Did you find that? Oh my god.
I knew something bad was going to happen, but the first time I watched it, I didn't expect exactly what it was, but I knew something bad was going to happen.
But the luring is just so obvious when you when he's like asking about the friends and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Cotton candy grapes. Okay, we got 68% Fresh, so I think that is that's pretty solid. Don't know how many people voted. Can't imagine a lot. Thank you guys.
Thanks for voting and thanks for the emojis. Big preach. All right. Let's start with Fresh, which is directed by Mimi Cave and came out 2022. Feels like it was last year, but what is time? So we're following Noah, who starts off, she's frustrated with like dating apps and the whole dating scene. And she has like a meet cute moment with a guy at the grocery store and they hit it off over the cotton candy grapes that somebody mentioned. After a few dates with Steve, the guy she meets, Noah decides to go away with him for a weekend. But when Noah gets to Steve's house, he drugs her and keeps her prisoner to sell her flesh. Cue title card. Noah manipulates Steve into giving her more freedom, which gives her an in to make an escape with another woman who is being held and her super smart friend that she should have listened to at the beginning, Molly.
We weren't lying about the spoilers. Vicky's giving them Vicky's giving them out. And this is actually one of the films that has the longest period before the title card.
Yeah.
Like 33 minutes in or something like that, which I freaking love. Because it's
every
like
time I rewatch it, I forget.
Oh, really? I love it. Because it's like, this is what the film is actually about, you know?
Yep.
Which is really fun. Where do you want to start with this one, Vicky?
I'm
actually glad we're starting with this one because I think the other one is going to get pretty heated. So get ready, guys.
Honestly, yeah, the other one is...
it's wild. I think I traumatized Vicky by making her watch it.
Do you want to start with your... Just like highlight it, your thing with the dating?
Okay, sure.
That kind of is how the movie starts, more or less. It's the catalyst.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I thought the film was really interesting in the way that it's almost like her and her friend at the start are talking about how they don't want to play games with people. And how she is sick of online dating because she's getting like these unsolicited dick pics and things like that. And so she feels like when she meets someone in real life, it's solving that problem. Which is actually another conversation in itself with like the safety of dating. Online dating at least leaves a trail. So yeah, I don't know if that I hadn't thought about that until just then. But it's really interesting because, as we were saying, when you rewatch the film, you realize that he is isolating her the whole time. And what you think is a meet cute is him going, do you have any family? It's so interesting. When I rewatched it, I don't know if that was like the second or third time I've rewatched it, but I was wondering, how does he always find people who don't have family? Or is he just asking people as he goes? Because that's a lot of time to invest into different dates to try and find the right person who's isolated. Because it's quite rare that people are, estranged from their whole family and don't have anyone else to connect to, live alone or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. But it felt like he was playing a game, obviously, to boost her kind of confidence and make her trust him. And in the end, it's really interesting because Noah kind of has to mirror this to feed his ego and pretend to date him to get out of the situation. So at the end of the day, if you want to, reach, which we love doing here, the film is kind of about the game of dating, which is what she's very anti at the start, but it's what helps her in the end, feeding into his ego to escape. And obviously hers is warranted for survival. But
Right.
I just thought that was a really interesting way of like thinking about it, because everyone talks about games when they're dating, and I guess mind games, and how people actually communicate. There's all these different phrases for different things that people do. I mean, like ghosting is like a very obvious one, but like there's
Sure.
different phrases within dating. It's like this whole game scenario. So I thought it was really interesting when you look at the themes of the film. And maybe not as taboo or controversial, but I just thought it was so interesting when you think about that it was all about ego in the end. And how easy it was to someone who's like a master manipulator, this guy, because he has to be complete, like a psychopath, sociopath, I don't even know, to have no
Right.
feelings, to be able to disconnect them when it comes to slicing these women up, literally, and then also falling in love with them sometimes. Like, what is the line? It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would classify him, but he definitely is a weirdo. But I feel like he sees himself as like a connoisseur almost of it. Like he prides himself in like knowing about like who he's eating, like in the meals and stuff that he prepares for. Like he knows who it is.
Yeah.
It makes it like more like insidious and more creepy that he knows like she's trying to like flirt and do like a thing and almost make jokes a little bit. And he's like, he takes it very seriously.
It's so strange though, because it's like, how can he be so cold-hearted and clever in the way that he isolates people, but then also be so easily fooled when his ego is played with? Like, how did he not see straight through what she was doing? It's just so strange.
He's not that smart, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, I also thought of like the whole meaning of the film as like, if we're reaching again, as a metaphor for the selling. This is again trigger warning. Instead of a film being about trafficking, like it's literally selling women's body and like, different women's bodies and getting paid for it, which I thought was an interesting, nothing that they leaned into, but it would have been interesting if they took it in a more, because the film is kind of lighthearted. I know it's really weird to say, but it's like, it's got the like crazy music, montages, really cool tracking and angles and movement, and then like it just, all of the background music is so like funky and has like double meanings, and then but obviously the subject matter is horrific. So it would have been really interesting if this film was done in a darker sense and leaned more into that metaphor of things that, I mean, not that I don't want to say that this doesn't happen. I don't know if this happens, but something that is a huge problem. So super, super dark and presented in such a lighthearted way, which is really interesting.
Yeah, the whole movie is like that. There's like so much meaning in him like selling women as meat. It's literally insane. I made like a whole like little list of like the different things. I'm like, that it could be, I could write like full essays on this, like multiple essays on this movie. It's amazing. I feel like your metaphor with like the like trafficking and things like that was also really clever. Like I loved that. I don't love that, but I love that meaning in it. Like I'm like, that's a really interesting way to sell it, because it's true. It's like, it's the literal metaphor for violence committed on women's bodies, like for one thing, in media and in real life. Like we see it, especially, we watch horror movies, we see it literally all the time. So there's that literal meaning, but there's also like the commodification of women's bodies with him selling their flesh plus their belongings, which I thought was like a really interesting aspect to it too. Like he has it like collected, and he like, we see him boxing up like items of clothing and like a photo and things like that. That felt like very true crimey to me. I don't know about anybody else, but it felt like murderabilia almost that he's selling, like, which I know is normally like attributed to like serial killers and crimes like that, but that's what it felt like, and we see like the customers like opening the boxes and pulling things out. Felt very true crimey to me. Also, it is like representative of primal passions, which both like sex, you know, they have sex pretty early on, and food, which is very prominent in this movie, where men pretty much hold all the power when it comes to being able to make choices, which is 1,000% what's going on in this movie. And in that case, women become the pawns or the item to be sold, I guess, in Steve's case. And then there's like the obvious camaraderie amongst women. I feel like that one's pretty much is very straightforward in the movie with the other woman whose character name I can't remember, unfortunately, who's in the room next to her. That
Polly?
Polly? Is it Polly? Okay.
I don't know. Is it Polly? I don't know. I'm just like
it might be.
Do you know that there is a theory as well that she eats her friend? I don't know if it's obvious. When she's eating the breast, it's her friend who comes to save her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because she says this is a succulent breast or something like that, and he says to her, "It might taste familiar to you as well." And then when you see her, she's in a gown, and you know that she's already been in one session. Her friend,
right?
Is her friend Molly, or am I just like rhyming everything?
No, Molly is correct. Yeah,
I'm like Molly. Wait. Penny.
Okay.
I wasn't far off.
Molly. You were just combining them, yeah.
Yeah, I was. I saw that as one of the theories, which was really interesting that there's like hinted at. Which
that's
makes
probably
sense.
Correct though.
Yeah, well, I feel like I was ready for them to do a scene like that, and I was surprised they didn't do something, you know, more obvious to make her so disgusted in what she was eating.
Yeah.
Because she really had to play into it.
Of course, yeah. But that makes so much sense, though.
Yeah.
Because he would do something like that.
Yeah, of course. And it was to show how hard it was for her to try and escape, how many she had to really make him believe that she was okay with it. It's so... that I just don't get it. Like, how could he be so... I know it's annoying to call him smart. I get that it's annoying. But how can he be so smart in what he's doing and isolating people and have this whole, chain set up, the way he does it? He's so sophisticated in what he's doing.
Right.
But then be so easily manipulated by her in return when she's like, oh, actually, I'm curious. What does it taste like? Like goes from like hating him to that. And I also thought like it was very strange that he didn't have a camera or some kind of recording device down there with the women because they can talk to each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, maybe he didn't realize women talk to each other, but like that was, trust me, that is the part that, yeah. I mean, that is what gets her information.
I wonder if it's because he like clearly had done that before because his wife, it's revealed that, she has part of her leg missing, which implies that she was possibly one of his victims at some point that he then married and had children with. So
yeah,
I mean that could be. Yeah. That's my only guess as to why he was so easily.
Yeah, true. Or I wonder who wrote in the book as well. In the magazine that if you have this means he likes you. And that's how she kind of gets the idea to do it. She was like, oh shit, like maybe I should play into this, which is really interesting because it is women talking to women who that lets her escape in a way. You know what I mean? It's this communication that they all have that feeding each other information and helping each other. Super interesting. I do love horror movies where the friend always like goes and saves the day. I know it's so predictable and annoying sometimes, but it's just one of my favorite tropes, like where they go and rescued either if it's last minute or like they actually investigate and find them, you know what I mean? Instead of just getting, So it's a silver lining to a horrific situation.
Well, good for Molly, saving the dumb white woman. Live for Molly.
Yeah. Oh my God. The other thing I thought was really interesting or like mirrored in the situation is that how strange, like, this, I guess I don't know how to even say this, but like the gender roles and like sexism of that it mattered no matter what the situation. And I really liked how they showed this at the very start of the film. She goes on this date with this guy at this Chinese restaurant that is like horrific, like just the worst date ever.
Yeah.
And in that date, the guy says to her, I really like how like women used to dress, and you would look so good in a dress, not a sweater, not that your sweater doesn't look good, and he tries to like play it off. And it's funny because then later in the film, when Steve is trying to like date her, he gives her a dress and makeup, and it's so strange to me because he's just like cut her body open on a like, you know, cold lighting, like seen her literal like insides. I know, graphic. And then he's like, but please put on some makeup and be presentable for me and put on a dress, which is so wild. But I like that in both situations, like they showed that was what is the acceptable for the man in the situation, no matter what, was that she like gussied up for him, which I thought was super weird. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very interesting kind of throwback to the earlier date. It's kind of saying like all men are the same,
right?
In a weird way.
Or it's like it's just a like slippery slope that scarf guy could easily be Steve.
Yeah, signs of red flags, I guess.
Yeah, they are the same.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I like what this film shows and doesn't show, because there's so many questions that you have, especially about the wife situation, whether how she got into that, if she was, I feel like she was using him to try and get out of the situation, and that was just like the best next thing, but then she's like weirdly attached to him at the end.
Okay.
And do you know what I mean? What?
Yeah.
No one has the answers.
I know, that's why I wanted to hear from everybody, because she
like, I mean, if you want to ask the chat,
it's very clearly like we mentioned, was a part of this in some capacity at some point, but through most of the movie she feels like she represents like the women, like, which is probably mostly exclusively white women who uphold the systems that allow this sort of stuff to happen. And I feel like that's kind of her job through most of the movie, or that she's playing into it, like, and just so far gone playing into like this game for survival, that it's become this way, that she's actively harming other women. But I would love to, I guess, but I would love to hear everyone's like interpretation of her character, particularly like I thought the ending's interesting when she sees Steve's body. And she just seems so, like, when she shows up to the house too and like sees everything that's gone on, like she sees the mess in the room and everything like that, and she goes out and finds him. She's so cold and just like says to the guy, the driver or whatever, like, we got to put his body on ice or something like that. And then it's not until she runs into Noah that she like gets like impassioned about the fact that he's dead or something like that. So I was just curious, like, what everybody thought about
what
that.
would be the options for the poll? I was like, in love with Steve, question mark.
If she truly is in love with Steve, or she's just like so far gone into like the game that Noah was playing. I don't know how you'd word that.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, like actually in love, or Stockholm syndrome.
Okay, I put you, Steve, as well. That's 3 options. Because, like, you can use a situation to obviously,
for sure,
exactly what Noah did. She just didn't escape during it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, everyone's saying Stockholm.
Oh, everything's Stockholm syndrome. That's possible.
Especially, actually, no, it's going down now.
That makes sense. Like with the MO, him like wooing them beforehand, and then that hugely like traumatic experience of
Mm,
what he does. Like Stockholm syndrome would make sense.
mm. She's definitely part of the problem that she is not a girl's girl. I'll give you that.
Oh,
Who said that?
1,000%. Either way, she's
Yeah.
actively help harm other women. For
Yeah,
sure.
but it is this also that you've got to acknowledge it's the cycle of abuse in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge thing in this film. I think sorry, I'm just going to highlight a few comments. I think that she didn't love him, but is attached to him.
Possible.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, he's got a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And they have children, so that's a big thing. Like if you're
also
looking
it's
out
like
for the safety of them.
Yeah, did she stay for the children? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because he's a very powerful guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy to just walk away from the situation.
For sure.
Ugh, so gross. It's so funny how it's like the film is such a fun, fresh, slick film. And then it's just so funny when we talk about these kinds of stuff. It really feels like the whole tone has changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is such a exciting film to watch, and it's so well done, and it was so well casted. I just love that it just fits so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, we've got 50%. Oh my god, guys! Should I just do the results? Oh, you, Steve, has gone up. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay, only 4% say in love.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna end the poll here. Get in your last votes, guys. There's only 23 votes. Come on, guys. What the heck? What the heck-a-rooney?
Yeah, there were 69 in the last one.
Come on, guys. You don't have any thoughts, feelings, concerns, questions? What's your opinion? That's it, guys? That's it? Maybe people haven't seen it. Okay.
Oh, that's also true.
Oh, one pointed out. I think one left. One of the folks.
Oh.
Can you unvote? Just to spite me. I love it. I love it, guys. Keep it coming. Okay. I don't feel qualified to vote. It's been too long since I've seen it. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. I'm going to end it here because we have a winner. Not clear winner. It was very close though, guys.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Stockholm Syndrome won by 50%.
Okay. I can see that.
Interesting. If you haven't watched it, I know we've spoiled a lot, but it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Do it. I don't think that it would be because she liked the money. That is a bit much. She looked distressed as fuck, okay? She was looking in the mirror. She was terrified. You could tell. She was on the verge of tears the whole time he was home.
Yeah. And she's super pretty. She could date any super rich guy.
Yeah. And she was trying to get the friend to leave. She was like, yeah, you need to leave now. My husband's going to come home. She was trying to help the other girl. So.
Oh, yeah, that is true. She is kind of like trying to like ice her out so she'll just leave.
Yeah. She was trying to get her to leave and get out of the situation before she knew too much. So.
Okay.
She was scared of being replaced. Ooh.
Scared of being replaced.
Don't bother me. I'm kind of forgetful. It's like the funniest comment. I love that. That is a nice place. That is a nice place to live. Did you have any more things about?
Yes, you do. Yeah, just one random thing because it is, especially.
I don't think it's random at all. I think it's a great point.
When we talk, we don't do it for like every movie, obviously, because this one's more women centric than anything. But I don't like. I was trying to think, like, does this pass the Bechdel test? Actually, I know the theme of it is dating, so I guess it like kind of redeems it a little bit, but. So it does have at least 2 women who are featured. The women talk to each other. But do they discuss anything other than a man?
Yeah, I was trying to think that too. I was trying to think of their earlier conversations when they're at, like when they're doing like a kickboxing class or whatever the hell that is, a boxing
But are
class.
they talking about her date?
Yeah.
That bad date?
Yeah. And then I was trying to think of,
And then they talk about the bartender guy that Molly knew.
Seeing him, yeah.
Lots of talking about Steve. And then, of course, like Penny and them are always talking about Steve.
I was like, did they ever have like a mundane conversation about anything else? And it would have, and that is such a good point, because it would have been so good for them to just say something else about their lives, like what did you do outside of this, or like who were you, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they really don't. Well, nothing we see. And
That's true.
everything is like about her wanting to hurt him. Like, I want to do this and this and this, and
Yeah.
kind of like their charming conversation they're both laughing about. So yeah, that is really disappointing.
Yeah. It's like I don't actually know. I mean, it could be by design because of the themes of the movie, but
they're just consumed by no matter what they do, it's all
Right.
So that is kind of upsetting, but
I just thought that was interesting. Whereas, like,
it is very interesting.
When I was writing my notes, I was like, "Wait a second! Like, does this actually?"
Yeah, no, it's a great point. It's a great point. I don't know why people don't like think about this. I know it's very obvious, but like, why don't people like in the writers' room? Like, why do we never be like, let's just throw out like one scene or one line in a, you know what I mean?
Well, who's mostly in the writers' room?
Yeah. But this is Mimi K. She's it's a woman director, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I know this is totally random, but when I was looking up at her, I was like, oh, what else has she done? There's this movie coming out by her. I just have to I have to just say really quickly, because it's crazy. It's in post-production now. And it is I will just read you the first line. It's a thriller centered around a woman who suspects her husband is cheating, and it's got Nicole Kidman in it. It looks insane. I'm gonna drop the link. It's got a lot of really the cast is stacked. And it looks super twisted. So just keep an eye out, guys. It's called Holland, Michigan. Michigan. So definitely keep an eye on that one. I love when you find just random films and you're like, what is this? I can't wait to like figure it out. And especially ones you haven't heard of. So I always do a little bit of stalking. A little bit of stalking. So that's interesting as well, that her upcoming film will be about, again, the relationship, you know, like a cheating kind of thing. Yeah. Yes. All right. Do we do this? Does this offend us?
Oh yeah.
Wait. Let me put up my ticker.
Yeah.
There we go. Gotta put a ticker. Okay. I'm gonna put a poll for everyone as well.
It's not official until the ticker is up.
Just me. Tip tapping. You go for it, Vicky. Does it
affect you? I was waiting for the poll to go up. No, this movie does not offend me. Very realistic, I think, despite the, and honestly,
you don't know.
It's a fucked up world. This could be true somewhere. You don't actually know.
Do think that. Yeah, I actually do think that this is real. But
if a headline came out tomorrow with this, I don't even know that I would even like double blink or anything. You know what I mean? So no, it doesn't offend me. I think it's really well done. And it was a joy to rewatch again for this.
Yeah, totally agree. I love this film. I think it's really well done, really fun. I just love the cinematography of it, like the movement. It's just put together in such a slick way. It's like a smooth jazz movie about like a really disturbing theme. So I love that. I love it.
Smooth jazz movie. I love that.
Yeah. We got 92% said no.
Okay.
Which is not surprising at all.
That's true.
And now you guys all want to vote. And 77% said yes. I would love to know who said yes.
Oh yeah, chime in. Like, why?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit overwhelming. I promise.
Explain your feelings. Not to call you out, but it's like genuine.
Not to call you out, but curiosity. I'm calling you out. I can see your name. No, I can't see your name. Could you imagine?
That would be crazy.
That'd be so good. Yeah, you can do that on Twitch. You can see it. The needle drop in both these
glad
movies.
To be a vegetarian. Yeah, I'm super. Yeah, agree. Hard agree. I don't feel the least bit weird about eating a meal while I'm watching this movie.
I'm offended by the high percentage of not offended. What? Nice. All right. I think that's pretty Pretty solid. Not offensive. We plead our case.
Yes, we did. Next.
Nice. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I thought of. We need that. Why don't we do that?
A gavel, just
Yeah, we need a gavel or just a sound thing. That's
how
pretty funny.
annoying would we be
Judged.
if we had like a soundboard or something?
Oh yeah. Oh, people already know on Twitch. People know about my bell. I'm gonna like traumatize people when I show my bell. They know about my bell. By the way, Vicky's on Twitch now as well.
I'm
so you
on
need
Twitch
to
now.
go check it out. Okay.
Okay.
Next up, guys, it's time for
Cat person.
I have not really heard Vicky's take on this, so I would, this is going to be interesting.
Hey, if you follow me on Twitch, we hinted at it a little bit on Wednesday because I go over my letterbox for the week. So we just for like a minute, we didn't go too much into it, but Cat Person came out last year, 2023, and is directed by Susanna Fogel. Hopefully I said that right. And we're following Margot, who is a college sophomore who starts texting with an older man who's a regular at her place of work at the movie theater. They have lots of chemistry over text, but once they have an in real life date, Margot realizes Robert is not what she expected. So she tries to end things, but Robert incessantly texts her. And this is just a quick thing. It's a lot more scary than this, but she starts to suspect that he's following her. As I'm saying it, I'm like, wow, this sounds not that bad. When she confronts him about it, he attacks her and their fight leads to his house burning down. Robert leaves town and Margot moves on. Woo!
Well, I think that's actually the point, though, Vicky, is that it doesn't sound concerning on paper.
That's true.
It's all the not even micro. It's more the dangers that we're programmed to feel.
Yeah.
That alarm bells that some people, it might not go off for some people, but for other people, like she is so hyper aware of, the dangers of like walking alone and stuff from the start. So it really is all about the atmosphere and almost like, I don't want to say gaslighting because no one particular, except for I guess society, is gaslighting her. It's more about, she's like, it's the whole invisible man kind of situation. Like, is this happening or is it in my head? Am I being followed or am I not? Am I overreacting? Am I underreacting? And it's interesting because I've seen like in your notes, you talk a lot about her friend's character, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like the person who is saying you should be, you should suspect everything. You should be hyper aware. You should be vigilant about all of these different things. Yeah. Where we follow Margot, who's kind of like bumbling through the situation and living it in real time instead of, really thinking about that before she gets herself into situations, which causes a lot of anxiety. It's really interesting. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for your
That's really sweet of you.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, thanks for your sacrifice.
I'm just trying to prove that I remember it.
Yeah, I don't. It's too far gone for me, but thank you so much. Where do you want to start? I want to just know what you thought of this film overall. I know that we normally don't do that, but I'm just dying to hear.
Oh, it was really hard. I almost didn't give it a star rating because I was like, I gave it 4 stars because it was a well-made film. Like I think it did what it set out to do, which is make me like really frustrated, make me scared, make me, you know what I mean? Like it I think it set out what it set out to do.
It's intriguing. It's hypnotizing. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's really hard to it's really hard to place. So I don't even know if I liked it or not. You know what I mean? Like I'm still like
I felt I saw it at the cinema last year and I had no idea it was horror. Otherwise I would have done like a come with me. I had no idea that it's people like put it like horror adjacent, but it's actually labeled as a horror on IMDb. And I had no idea. And I loved the film up until the end. And I was like, wait, what the fuck was happening with the message of this film? And I walked away and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I like this film a lot because it just, it's really hypnotizing and it's so alluring. I love the performances. It's so interesting what they're trying to say. And you think it's going to come out with a clear message, and it really doesn't. And it kind of like fence sits in a way that can be aggravating. But it's also something I really, I don't know, it just makes me, it just provokes like a lot of like, I guess, conversation and stuff like that. So that's, I like it in that regard, but I still haven't rated it. I actually went to rate it this time, and then I was like, no, I can't. Like, I just don't know how I feel about it. So I didn't rate it the first time I saw it, and I didn't rate it this time.
That's valid.
It's just so interesting. Especially because after I saw it, this, I don't know if Rob can figure out who this is. There is a pretty obnoxious man reviewer locally where I live, and he went to the same screening as me, and I saw afterwards that the cinema I went to had reshared his thoughts on it, and he had said that it was the perspective of dating both from like both ways, from a man and a woman, and their potential like worries. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't even like consider the man's perspective, which is so wild. But I assumed it was through her point of view, a lot of it, especially when they're doing those scenes where they're like, she's imagining him in therapy. You don't really see a lot of the other way, and you don't really follow him going home or anything like that, and his life through, you see everything through her perspective.
You don't follow him at all.
Yeah, and when she goes out of town, you're following her the whole time, and you're just, so I understand that it does, and that's why at the start the Margaret Atwood, the
Margaret Atwood quote,
the quote that comes up, which is, God, what is it from the top? Do you know it from the top of your head?
I don't remember. It's
like
men are afraid of women laughing at them. Women are afraid of men killing them, harming them, something like that.
Yeah, killing them.
Yeah,
I think it is. And I like that kind of like sums up the whole thing. But I just didn't think that we saw the perspective. I mean, you're right, Summer. We do hear and we kind of put together what he was thinking. He explains it, but we're always just with her.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was interesting, probably for this person who did a review, seeing it from their perspective and watching it from that different perspective. It's so interesting, this whole film, how much you can watch it over and over and over and get something different every time, and depending on your background and triggers and different stuff in your dating, you know, that it would really center on this film and how you take it. It's so interesting, because not a lot of films are so open like that, because it can get tricky. And it was criticized heavily because of it. A lot of people don't like this film because of that, especially with the story it's based on, because the story, I don't know if you have this in your notes, but like the story that it's based on, I think I might have.
Yeah, you added it, so I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, the story it's based on stops at the text message part. It's very similar. The whole thing is exactly the same, basically, up to the wording of like what the text messages are back and forth. Obviously, there's a lot more context put in the movie. It changes like what she's doing at like uni and stuff like that. But the conversation when they're both sitting on the bed and they read it, and it finishes, the story finishes with the text message coming through saying whore, which is, again, I think more one-sided, because that story was written from a woman's perspective, and it is about like the online dating things and how people can switch it up as soon as they're not getting the attention that they want. It can become scary, and then the movie takes on a life of its own after that and just goes completely wild. Turns into this kind of like weird fantasy thing again that fence sits. So when she goes to his house, breaks in, so she's done something wrong, and then you know, he does something wrong, and then she does something, and it makes like this weird thing where it's trying to like balance out, and but then it turns into that fight where they're both like attacking each other, and it's still this kind of weird evenness. I don't know, it's strange how it is like been sitting the whole time up until the end, where he has to have something horrific happen to him, where his house burns down, to kind of like even the score. So I can see why people said they've just completely changed the meaning of the story, it's not a true crime adaptation, no. She said that it was based on like things that have happened in dating, but no. All of the crime stuff is more in the movie, because I don't think
Yeah.
even in the story they talk about the dog and how the dog is linked back to him like stalking her at the start.
Oh, yeah, that's such a random thing. Yeah, I guess it's just meant to be that one clue that maybe he was watching her a lot longer than
Then was
she
let
thought.
on.
Yeah, then was let on, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was weird, yeah. I thought that was, I almost forgot about the dog because it's like
Explain it. Where was the dog the first time she went to the house as well? I don't know. The whole thing's confusing. Where were the cats?
Yeah.
The dog and cat person, which is like a weird. Yeah.
Hey, it happens. Some people do. But yeah, I'm glad you felt that way too about it, like taking both sides. I felt that way too, particularly with Taylor. Also, the inclusion of her friend, like you mentioned, she's the one like really looking ahead for Margot and being like, yeah, you should just end it. This is dumb. And again, being the voice of reason, like, don't meet up with this guy in person and blah, 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 blah. But your door opening slowly behind you.
It's the wind, I swear, guys.
But she has like, Taylor has her own thing going on with like her little side story where it's like she's in like a forum or something it's meant to be like a safe space or something, and then she's got this whole deal going on with this cis man, I guess, who was like a co-moderator in the forum. She's giving very chronically online, Taylor.
Yeah, they have to be. They make it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's stereotype.
Yeah, but she's really upset about it, like for most of the movie, and they even have like a moment too where she's kind of like humbled a little bit because he's like the Uber driver or whatever at the end that like drives her to the house, and it's like, oh well, he's a nice guy, so like, see, you're hating on him for nothing. And she's very like anti-man the whole time too, like anytime the men just like take up too much space, she calls them on it, which I kind of love. Like the scene where the guys burst into their room without knocking, I would have been pissed off too. Like that's what like triggers their fight as well. Like Margot like lays into Taylor about her behavior also, which I thought was interesting. So it was like, not only was it trying to redeem Robert a little bit by the end, like have him do something heroic, like saving her in the fire and things like that, but it's also like trying to like take Taylor's stance, or like, you know, anybody who feels like her down a peg as well. Like almost like it's just trying to coddle cis men's feelings, like watching this movie. Like, so if they go watch it, they can leave feeling like, yeah, I'm the good guy.
It's interesting the fight they have between themselves as well. I felt like that was just so random at that point of the film, to just leave her after all of, like, you know what I mean, to leave it there after. But I can understand how it kind of came into a boiling point. But it's an interesting thing, because it's almost like still at this point Margot is trying to, I don't know, be naive, wanting to be naive to the dangers and fighting that. I don't think they were actually mad at each other. She's just mad at what Taylor is representing, because she doesn't want to believe that that kind of stuff is true, and that even though she does feel that way, you can tell, like when she's alone, she definitely feels that way, but it's still like fighting against it, which is quite sad when you think about it.
That is true, yeah. Oh, I didn't even clock that, Daniel.
What did Daniel say?
Stephen Fresh is a doctor, and the Robert and that person is a nurse.
Was Steve actually a doctor though, or was he just said he was? He just learned how to do that for that. Is that technically a doctor? I don't think he's helping people. I think he's surgery.
He said he
surgery. So,
that is kind of wild though. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that is wild.
That's the connection.
But yeah, it's funny with those kind of like the interesting things with the dating and showing like how much we read into things, but then she doesn't ask certain things. Like they both don't ask each other how old they are.
Yeah.
And then she never asks him what he does, which is pretty fucking funny. I love that cut scene where they show them like doing all those different jobs, because she can't imagine what he's actually doing.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
It's funny.
Yeah. Did you hit all your points on that?
Well, not except for the ending. So
yeah, go for it.
I don't know if you.
I don't know what I've hit. I haven't been reading. I just been going off the top of my head. There's just so much. I knew it was going to be like this. Oh, I guess we can talk about
Oh yeah, the really cool the YA approach.
Yeah, so the film was criticized as well for a lot of like the approach that it's kind of like a young adult film, which is what I saw a lot with people saying I had no idea it was going to do this and do the subject matter, and it's kind of what I was angling at before, where they fence it or they just don't push it far enough sometimes because they want it to be this equal battle between the two. Even though it's like, why put up that quote at the start if you want it to be an equal battle?
Right.
is very strange. But like the fight and I have touched on this, that's just the fight on the fight scene. It's just like, honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that was like one of the most intense fight scenes, because the reason for me, I watch a lot of disturbing stuff and I see a lot of fight scenes and a lot of assault scenes, but that really got me because the film was going on such a roller coaster that I had no idea what would happen next. And when she was pepper sprayed and in his house, I had no idea where this film was going and how it was going to end. And I knew it was, in the third act. I was like, oh my God, what is going to happen? And that was like one of the scariest things. But they still don't take it to another point. They never do any. I mean, we can talk about the sex scene, and I do want to talk about that. But they don't do any assault. I don't want to say blatant assault because that's kind of fucked. But, they don't do anything like that, which, so it's really interesting. Anyway, it almost takes it to a point where all of like the gooey stuff in the film, and it's kind of like Fresh is like this as well, now I'm thinking about it, is kind of romanticized. And in Fresh, we were just talking about how the film is such a dark subject matter, but it's done in such a funky way that it feels different tonally. And it's the same thing with this, because it's done in such like a young adult kind of like not coming of age, but almost kind of way where she's in college, and especially like the riding the bikes thing at the end. It just felt so like the end of like, and that was my summer, like, and that's it's like such an American movie, and I'll never forget, the summer I spent with Steve. Wait, no, wrong movie. wrong guy. That kind of stuff. So I thought that was really interesting, but I think that was the whole point of the film, was to approach it from that perspective, and seen as a dating film that is about the, women's fears. But yeah, the quote at the start, I can totally understand, really is off-putting, but that should be a signal at the start that, maybe check the content warnings. But it's, I think that's kind of the point I had. It's an interesting thing about towing the line, but still sticking in the young adult theme, where there is nothing that is shown that is that risque. But again, the themes that are where Fresh, obviously show a lot more gore and guts and all that kind of stuff, but still kind of hides underneath another romanticizing. I don't know. Just like a funky Fresh kind of thing. I wouldn't say romanticizing, but it's just like a funky. It's kind of like, I know this is going to trigger everyone. American Psycho, how a lot of people see that as like, oh my God, so cool. I got to return some tapes, They like quote all that shit. I'm like, this is so fucked up, but because it's like the soundtrack and the aesthetic of it all, it seems like this fun, cool thing. So it's kind of similar in that regard. I also do want to talk about the sex scene. Because that was like excruciating. Again, a film, like lots of films, I watch a lot of intense films, but this sex scene really got me because it was such, I feel like a lot of people agree with me, but a lot of films, especially horror, when they do sex scenes, I mean, any slasher, you can pick it. You can tell it's directed by men
Oh, for
or
sure.
mostly people who just watch porn.
Right.
You know, from that perspective, it's a curated version of what sex is in all film.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was really interesting the way they slowed it down and really played into the ick of it all. But the saddest part was just the horrendous thoughts that are going through her mind. So instead of seeing anything physical, I think that was really interesting how they just focused on the mental, because in a lot of disturbing films, they focus on that act alone
Right.
and have, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little bit graphic, but they have, you know, a woman's blank stare and all that kind of stuff, which is horrific. But in this one, it's all in a dialogue and her talking to herself within the room. And then even worse, talking to herself about, okay, what are my options? I can do this, or like he might do it anyway, or like, or I can't get home, or he'll get pissed, and running through the options, which is very much something that women unfortunately do in these situations. And yeah, I just thought it was so interesting how realistic it was. And I hate to say liked it, but I thought that was a really like impactful scene, because they focused more on that instead of the actual act. I mean, they did show stuff, but
well, yeah. But it's I get
Yeah.
what you mean. I liked it too. I think that's the only time I've ever seen it presented that way, and is probably I don't want to say like more palatable, but I guess maybe more straightforward for maybe anyone in the audience who doesn't understand like that fear. That especially like you mentioned when she goes through at the beginning, like going through her options and you know her like kind of continually like ignoring the window to be like, I don't want to do this anymore, stop, like that thing, because of the fear of how he's going to react. So like vocalizing it very plainly, and while also showing the fact that she is just completely like out of her body at the time, and that he doesn't notice also.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole film, is that they just don't notice each other's or assume each other like things from each other instead of having fucking communication about it, which is absolutely wild. Did you want to talk about the ending before I jump into my little soapbox?
Sure. Your soapbox. There we go. Find my stuff again. Okay. It was, I know you kind of already talked about it before, like the difference in like the way like the short story ends with the text message and how the rest of the movie goes. But I felt like, we've already kind of like talked about this too. Like Robert is redeemed somewhat, like during the fire, he, saves Margot by going into whatever the fuck that was. I don't know what that is. Is that a thing people have in their basements? I don't know. We don't have basements here.
It was a drain, I think.
Oh, okay. Like, it's like we don't have basements.
I'm pretty sure it's a drain.
Have zero context for what that
we don't either. So. I thought you would have basements. No, you don't.
We can't. Yeah, because
hurricanes.
Aquifer is like right underneath it's like all limestone and stuff. And it would all and it's like hollow, and that's where all the fresh water is.
Okay, alligators. Just tell me alligators are down there. I'll believe you.
I mean, maybe. Well, I hope not. That's where we get a lot of our drinking water. I'm sure there are. But I feel like the ending just felt so, like the ending felt so jarring to me too, because it's like so almost like fast and just like, okay, close book, done. Like the fire happens and that's all, like, like that's the most climactic moment, and you're like, oh my god, are they alive?
Dead.
Blah blah blah. Are they dead? And obviously they both make it out, but then it's like Robert just moves away.
Yeah. Well, he kind of like technically like saves her too. They have
saves her, and then he moves away, and then that's it. And then I was also weirded by the fact that they like ride by the house again, and her facial expressions too.
My summer.
Yeah, I was trying to read it now. Like I'm never gonna be able to rewatch that without thinking about my summer. She goes. I felt like it was like it was frustrating, but at the same time almost maybe like realistic, because in these situations, like how many times would a man like actually get the proper punishment for like brutalizing somebody or holding somebody hostage? and I know she snuck into his house, before anyone, but you know what I mean, like that situation versus like them getting like a slap on the wrist or him just being able to move town with the assumption that he's probably going to do this again to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I felt like I felt weird by it, but then also it's like, well, this is kind of realistic in a sense. Like how many times does it just that's it? And that's like a trauma that one side has to live with, and then Robert's going to go on to go do whatever he's going to go do. But I also want to know how everyone feels about the ending, because it ends with her back at work again, and then has like a conversation with that guy that's almost exactly the same.
I think that's, and she goes to open her mouth. She's like, and then it ends.
And
so we don't know whether she has. Yeah, but it's like, what lesson does someone saying she learned? What is she meant to learn from that though? Because it's a pretty fucking intense situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's meant to learn. Is she meant to learn never to trust again? Or is she meant to learn to be more careful? Or is she meant to learn not to date men at work? Like, I don't know what she's meant to learn from this situation. Yeah. I also like the idea, because she says, I called and he had left like the hospital where he was working.
Yeah.
And then she also says, but they could have just said that. So I like the idea that he is still living there, and he just like, I don't know, there's something like interesting about the idea that he just kind of ghosted her in the end instead of like moving town. But I guess like he lost his fucking house. It's pretty intense. Yeah. And probably like, the rumors and stuff would be wild for him. So yeah.
That's also true.
No, just to be honest with herself. I mean, like, I feel like the whole point was that they both weren't honest communicators.
Right,
so
yeah.
This is the thing, like, what do you learn? I think that they learned that they weren't compatible. It really is. Because my thing about and I'll get onto my my soapbox with. Wait, did you have like a thing that you think about the end expression, Vicky?
No. It was like it's how I feel about like the movie as a whole, where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it, where I'm like, I genuinely have no idea. I feel like it could go like you could tell me definitively, like I know for a fact this is what happens after the camera stops, and I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. Like she tells him to fuck off, or she starts flirting with him or something, I'd be like, yeah, probably.
And I honestly think that's the point. It doesn't matter, because it's not meant to be about that. It's meant to be about like this situation that is so foggy, because there is different ways. I don't want to bring up Baby Reindeer, but like there's other pieces of media where they show it's all gray area communication and different triggers and traumas and ways that people have to live because of who they are, that they have to have different accessibility. And it's also like dating culture, and it's just like the way things are approached from different genders as well is for reasons. And that's why a lot of people in the comments are saying like, what did he do wrong and stuff like that. I think that they both had communication breakdowns, but I also think, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. I also think that it's really important in this situation to consider the statistics and issues with this. I'm trying to find my thing so quickly. I think that this film is it's a hard one, because it's always on the fence. But it's a good film for people to watch, because it does bring up conversations and perspectives, and talking about communication. And currently in Australia, we're in a national crisis, and our Prime Minister has, come forward and said this about violence against women. It's like at a critical rate here, and a lot of it is obviously domestic violence. And so it is people and it's dating situations, and you just have to be aware that some people, safety of all people. And I think that this film brings up her insecurity, especially when she's like trapped in that room at her university. And you just see the panic go through her. she's just panicking. And that's the thing. She was worried about him before he did anything. And I totally agree with that. But there's reasons for that. And I think that that's where it gets a bit muddy, because unfortunately we don't have equality, and it has to be a little bit of like a safety concern for women in these situations. So I think that it's just like interesting how it brings that forth, because although he hasn't done anything personally, like people are bred into like fear because of situations they hear around them. So it's a weird thing, because you can't really put it on an even sliding scale, because the statistics are insane, especially in my country. So yeah, it's just, I think it's just really interesting in that perspective, and that's why I like this film, because it brings up those conversations instead of people just kind of straying away from them, and they show the perspective of why people are nervous, anxious. And that's what I was talking about with the sex scene, why she just goes along with it, even though she could say no and she could have just left, but she plays through her anxieties, and she's a very anxious person and very naive as well. But then that begs the question. It's like, oh, so is she naive because she got into a situation where she like trusted somebody? Like it like the whole film is about different conversations and how to break that down. So I think it's just like a super interesting film, and that's why I like it, even though it's like annoying at points. I'm like, it just like I as soon as I watched it, I was like, again, I'm like, oh my god, there's just like so much we could discuss, because it just goes so deep and there's so many different ways you can take it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
No, I think that's important to note too, what you said too, because like everyone, like conversations kind of started to lean to like, well, they both needed to communicate. Well, there is a power dynamic too that's going on that you can't ignore.
Yeah. And yeah, the age thing is so wild as well in the film. Like, I know that I just don't know why. And I think both people, why the fuck would you not know how old someone is before you? Either way is crazy. Absolutely wild that you wouldn't. It's so wild. I don't, I think if that's the thing to everyone in here who is actively dating, ask to see their ID. Take a photo of their ID and send it to your friend. If you've learned anything from Fresh,
honestly,
every single person in here, take a photo of who's dating's ID and send it to your friend. And turn your location on. Always have your locations on. Okay. Don't wait to send your location. Like, yeah. That's my whole thing. It's like the safety of it all. It's absolutely wild.
That's true. She's in a lot of unsafe situations. I was also wondering too, like why a 20-year-old is like closing her movie theater by herself. Like the one where that like I remember the scene only because like immediately after she puts her headphones in, and then it's Britney bitch comes on over the over the speakers. Like I have no idea like why she was like closing that theater by herself. This is like some strange world in which that happens. I don't know. That's never happened at any place I've worked where you close by yourself either.
I don't.
Like
yeah, that's
in
true.
A lot of dangerous situations.
Yeah. They wouldn't let that happen now. I don't think they let that happen when I was young either. It's a very weird thing as well, the age, because here 18 is like adult across the board in terms of like alcohol and everything, and then the whole 21 thing. And then when you guys say like freshman, and I don't know any of that lingos, every time they like, I told you I was a freshman, I was like, I don't fucking know what that means, girl. Tell me how old you are.
Well, he has weird context for that.
yeah, for sure. But it's so weird that they like walk towards a bar and then it comes like the whole thing is so strange for me, and I just don't understand why. That's one of the first things I would ask someone when I date them, like, how old are you? And I don't think that's a bad question. Like,
no, yeah.
It should be on your dating profile, if that anyway. Not that they meant that way. But yeah, both of the films are so funny because it's like the dangers of meeting people in public and not on social media, which is like complete opposite of how it normally is. So
yeah. I feel like that's almost like I don't think it's like an intentional like red herring that like oh, like we're gonna say that online is the more dangerous option. Well, I think really what, if we learned anything, is like the dangerous situation could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't always necessarily happen online. but it does sometimes, and it doesn't always necessarily happen in real life, but it does.
And it's so sad that you have to have a digital footprint
Oh yeah.
of safety now, but it is
Yeah.
important. It is important, guys.
Yes, it
I remember
is.
closing the video library by myself when I was 18.
What the hell?
Jesus, Rob. I remember I used to work in an ice cream store, and they wouldn't let any of the girls close by themselves.
Yeah. I've
Which at the time I
never
was-
worked at a place where you close by yourself at all.
Oh, really?
Like there's always a team of people and you walk out together.
Yeah, it makes
so
sense.
weird
I
to me.
mean, making one person close is pretty
Yeah.
wild too. Unless someone's just run off like in the last 5 minutes, maybe.
I
don't
guess,
know.
yeah, unless somebody like walks out on the job or something, sure. But like, nobody, never worked at a place where it's like intentionally scheduled that way.
Oh, a lot of people saying that they closed.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did you should we report
Times
all your
have
places
changed,
of
though.
work?
I guess, yeah. Times have changed. I wonder what the actual. Well, I don't think you guys have very good work safety.
Yeah,
That's
that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think a lot of people said that. I actually don't think that the age gap was such a wild thing. It was just more that they weren't upfront about it first. And of course, she's on the younger side.
Yeah.
But as long as it's fucking aware about it, like that's what's so weird. Yeah.
I think like the younger you are though, in that it's another an additional power dynamic.
Yeah, that's
like
the thing.
if they were both aged up like 10 years, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be that weird at all.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Very true. And it's also weird for me being in my mid-30s. Ew, I can't believe I have to say that. Sorry, guys. I just like it occurs to me that I have to say mid-30s. It like when I'm watching films and I see that like someone's 20 or 18, I'm like, oh my god, that's so wild. Why would they be dating them? And I don't know. It just like it also reflects on, you know, when I was younger and I was like in school and there was people hanging out with us who were like in their 30s, and yeah, it's so wild. I don't mean it's ill as in I'm old or anything, because I don't feel old at all. It's just weird saying mid-30s. I don't know. It's just like such a weird
don't
term.
say it. Just say how old you are.
Yeah. I'm 34, okay? I don't think I'd said mid yet. I've accepted it, guys. 30's way better than 20s, so
honestly,
loving it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be in my 30s. You could not. I don't want to go back. Don't make me.
No.
Yeah. Gosh. All right. Well, that was a heavy one. I knew it would be.
Yeah.
I knew it would be. It's
wow.
It's also just like something when I was, I guess, younger and dating. Or this actually pours over to all fucking facets of my life. I'm like such a rebellious person in terms of like I can do anything and you can't tell me what to do. And I still get those comments now when I do like come with me's. Everyone's like, you can't sit in your car at night, like in a thing by yourself. A lot of people tell me that. And I'm like, well, now I'm going to fucking do it. So it's like, it's so interesting now seeing it's more important than ever to like be concerned about obviously your safety. And
for sure.
Yes, I just want to make sure that we're echoing that, and that if these films rubbed you the wrong way in any way, to think about that and why it's concerning. And obviously communication is very important, guys.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, thanks guys.
Thank you, Annabelle. Wow.
Thank you so much. Well, it's still good. Fresh wins by a landslide. Shame on that poll. Unrelated. Do you think I don't know. Spoilers. Haven't seen the trailer. No, I hadn't seen the trailer. What just happened? No.
Erase it from your brain. Erase it from your brain.
We get it a month after you guys. Thank you so much, but I didn't know that. So that was great. Oh, thank you so much, Des. Thank you. And I think people are saying happy birthday, Danny D. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Des.
Happy birthday.
We also have to ask if thanks, Des. I have to also ask. Does this offend you? I'm gonna put the poll up so you.
I don't even know how to answer
that.
Does this offend you? No. No, I wouldn't say offended. I think it's inability to take a side is kind of maybe could be a little annoying, but I think it's very like creatively done, the movie too, like the weird, like her like visualization of things, the like therapy sessions, things like that. I think it's like it's interesting the way it's put together. So no, it doesn't offend me.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't think it's offensive.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It definitely rubs me the wrong way in some regards, but I think I like that. I like the challenge. It's very thought-provoking, and hopefully it created a lot of good conversation.
Oh, Summer nailed it. Yeah, not offend, discomforts, confuses.
Yeah.
I would say yes to both of those at different times for sure.
If people saying it's public knowledge, it's not public knowledge if you didn't watch the trailer. Everyone said no.
If you haven't looked up anything about the movie,
if you've tried to stay away from everything, it's not public knowledge at all. Okay, we got 100% no for this one. How was fresh? Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, and then nobody wanted to chime in. I wanted to hear why.
Yeah, I knew they weren't going to chime in. That's interesting.
No.
Yeah, well, articles. I'm definitely not going to read articles if I'm not watching the trailer. I haven't looked at any images. Well, yeah, 100%. Good point. My merch, death before spoilers. Death to you.
It's just so funny.
No, okay, I'll accept it. This one. What am I meant to do? What can I do now? It's so sad. We get it a month after you guys. So mad about it. So mad about it. Thank you guys all so much for being here, and thank you to all the lurkers. I see you, lurkers. I don't see you. I can see you through your screen.
We can feel your presence.
Yeah. Thank you if you're lurking and it's your first time here. We've had a couple more people here than watching than usual. So thank you for coming to a live conversation. I know I've had a couple of new people join. So I appreciate it. Don't forget to check out Vicky everywhere.
Everywhere
all of the time.
Everything everywhere all at once.
What have you got going on recently?
I posted a best horror moms video today. It's Mother's Day is this weekend, and then
Carrie White wasn't number one, was she?
No, I did like good moms.
Yeah,
not the scary ones.
She's like the worst of the worst.
She's the worst.
She's my favorite bad mom.
And then next week it's all about The Strangers. So I did like a revisit of The Strangers and Pray at Night, and then
I saw you watch Strangers in the dark.
Again, yeah, it's still scary. I don't care what anybody says. That movie freaks me the fuck out.
I need to rewatch. I'm so excited. For that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting that whole thing that they've got planned for the chapter 1, whatever.
Yeah, and they said the other chapter's gonna be out this year.
Yeah, it's like chapter 2 is supposed to be in the fall, and then the third one the beginning of next year. Like they're already done. Like
that's so wild.
Yeah,
I guess they did them all in a row. Thank you guys so much for all of your fuel-y nightmares. Wrong one. Sacrifices, blood ones. Dating is a nightmare. Dating is a nightmare situation these days. Social media has taught us to automatically assume the worst about others. Men talk about women poorly. Women talk about men poorly. It's Black Christmas. An anti-abortion movie? Interesting comment. Maybe we've learned that dating online is better than dating in person in these movies. So
yeah, if you only watch these 2 movies, you might have a different opinion.
Pick your poison. Thank you so much. Good luck out there.
Good luck out there.
Still the best. Oh my god, that's so nice of you. And happy birthday. I don't know if it is your birthday, but I believe you. Happy birthday.
I didn't even see it in the chat. You said
someone
it,
was
so
saying
I
that.
ran with it.
Yeah, someone was saying that. And what have I got going on? Oh yeah, next week I'm gonna have I'm hoping it's gonna go well, guys. I have a little bit of a video that I haven't done in a very long time. Wasn't well received in the past, but I think this time it's gonna be good because the subject matter is good. And someone in the chat might have given me the idea and they don't even know it. So I'm really excited for that video. And then I have covering Strangers. And then I also just to let people know who's watching, I'm off the week after. I'm taking a vacation week. I'm going to Fiji. So I'm very excited for that. So no videos that week, but all Patreon bonuses will still be up, going strong. But my boyfriend loves you, Emma. Do you love me, Jen? But do you love me? That's all I care about, Jen. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to follow Vicky everywhere, and she is on Twitch now.
thank you.
We gotta do a
Yeah.
we gotta do a streamy thingy together.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make you play
Yeah.
Texas with me because that's all I care. I think Texas is
fine.
actually what made me sick. I'm not even joking because it's like gets
Really?
my heart. I have had
you're-
health issues from that
Honestly,
braid.
though, yeah, that little bit I played with you on your stream, I could feel my heart beating out of my chest. I was so
Oh,
stressed
yeah.
out.
Yeah, and
I was like,
it's
who has
like
fun
redone my
playing this?
nervous system.
Yeah.
It's totally messed me up. But I'm a like Texas Chainsaw girly for life now. It's made me love it. I love it. Backhanded compliment. What? How? I missed that.
Oh, probably when I said I don't know how anyone has fun playing it.
Oh, Des hates it as well. So I get it. Yes, now I do. This lore is killing me. Love that. Love that. Play the Friday 13th. I can't play Friday 13th. It's not available anymore. You can't buy it.
Aw.
Sorry. But thank you guys all so much for hanging out, and we will talk to you all very soon
Yes,
in
we
one way
will.
or another. We know your locations, and we're gonna come find you. If you see a little Rottweiler, however you say it, where you are, dog.
Do people say
No, it's me.
Rottweiler?
We call it Rottweilers. Rottweiler?
Weiler.
Yeah, Rotto. You know what I say? I have had a Rottweiler before. Yeah, I say Rottweiler. Rottweiler.
Rottweiler.
Vicky laughing at it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Herb. Don't start with me. I have a whole list. You mirror. Say mirror. Say it.
Mirror.
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 It's like you guys with horror. Her.
Oh yeah, horror is
Don't give me the nose treatment, guys, because I have got you. I have got a list. I swear I've got a list. Don't start.
It does sound like a fake. Yeah, as soon as you have to like compare it, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Okay. How do we get it? How do we get here? Off the rails. Okay, this is not Twitch. This is where my Twitch content is. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day or night, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for all the love.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Sweet. Yeah.